Hey guys, Dennis back with a brand new video. So today I'm going to show you how to change out those ugly yellow stock halogen bulbs on your Ford F-150 and replace them with some new LED bulbs. So make sure to stick through to the end of the video. I'm going to show you the night and day difference these new bulbs make. Alright, so this is a 2018 F-150 and it does apply to probably pretty much any of the models unless you have the newer LED headlights with the LED surround on them and whatnot. The operation is basically the same between the passenger and driver side. It's identical. The same bolts have to be removed on both sides. So what we need to do first is we need to start the truck and we're going to turn this wheel so it's pointing out to the right, and that gives us access to the inside of our fender well here. So I'm just using a 1/4-inch drive ratchet with a 7/32 1/4-inch drive socket on here. All right, so there's a few things you have to remove in here to be able to get access to the headlights and the fog lights. So the 7/32 screws that need to come out are right here. One at the very bottom. There's two here, and then there's a couple up behind here. And then there's this one right here. So we're gonna take that one out first. All right, so this one right here, all you simply do is spin it and give it a little wiggle. It should come right out just like that. Okay, and then we're gonna take our 7/32 ratchet and remove these bottom two first. Now you can use an impact driver if you have one, and it'll make it a little bit quicker. So there's one right here. We're gonna take this one out. I'm gonna show you how to do the fog light first because it's probably the easiest out of the three because it's down low. All right, so these are the LED lights that we're gonna be using. I picked these up on Amazon, so these are Sealights. These are the fog lights. I bought these as a set, and these are the H10 bulbs. So I expect these to be pretty bright. Now these are the headlights, and this is a high and low beam kit. Here's the part number. Let's pull one of these out so you can see it. All right, here's another little trick too. So the hole for that bottom screw on this panel, you can put either a bungee cord or a couple zip ties through and just connect it to your tie rod end here, and that'll help pull this out of the way so you're not fighting with this. On the inside right here, that is the fog light. You'll see it with the blue connector on it. All you need to do is you need to grab onto this and spin it counterclockwise and give it a little jiggle, and it comes right out. That easy. And then to remove this, you just need to kind of pull down on it a little bit. I would recommend not using a screwdriver, but if you pull this back with your thumb a little bit and wiggle it, it comes right out. Here is the LED replacement. Put the connector on before you put this light in place, and it just snaps right on. And then you just simply fit it back into the hole, and then once it's in place, just turn it clockwise. All right, and that's all there is to it for the fog light. If you see right here, right where the tip of my finger is pointing right here, this is a rubber dust cover for the back of the high beam bulb, and all you do, there's a little tab on it. See that little tab right there? You just pull on that tab, and the dust cover comes right out. This bulb is inside of the housing, so it's a little bit trickier to get to, okay? Okay, now that high beam bulb, you should be able to pull right out. Now, this is the same thing as the fog light. There's a little tab on here, and I wouldn't worry about touching the bulb at this point since we're replacing them anyways, but that little tab, you just basically pry up with your finger and pop the bulb out. If you bought the same particular kit, you have both LED bulbs here, and it's kind of hard just from looking at it to see which one is the high beam and the low beam. The high beam does have an HB3, it's a 9005, has this orange sticker on it if you bought this particular kit, and the low beam just has H11, it has a gray sticker on it. And physically from the front they kind of look the same, but if you look at the mounting on them, they're definitely different. So this is not the high beam here, this is definitely the low beam because of the way the gasket looks on it. If you look at this one now, this one is very similar with that little O-ring on there instead of that larger gasket. So this is our next one we're gonna put in. Again, I recommend connecting the wire first. It just clicks together like this. And then I worry about this wiring after the fact. So we're just gonna fit our bulb in. Let's move our wiring out of the way. And then once it's seated in with those tabs, you basically just twist it into place All right, on the bulb itself, there's 3 tabs. You want to line them up in the back of the bulb socket. Once they're in place, you turn it clockwise to lock it in, and then I'll show you what it looks like from the front. So when you look at it from the front, you'll see that the little LED modules on the bulb are on the left and the right side. So you see where the hole here where the dust cover used to be, all I do is I take these wires and I tuck them in. I don't want the wires laying on the back of the heatsink for this new LED bulb, so I'm gonna put it around it, just like that. So there's nothing hanging out. And then we take our dust cover, and this is the easier of the two. You just kind of press the dust cover in place, and you can see I have the top part hooked on here, and then all you do is you just kind of work your way around. That's what it looks like when it's in place. So we're gonna do the same thing for the low beam. All right, so above this brown connector here is where the dust boot for the upper headlight is. We're gonna do the same thing with this one. This one's kind of hard to reach, and just be patient with it. So I'm gonna reach up counterclockwise. You can kind of stick your finger onto the bottom part of the bulb and just pull towards the fender side, and the bulb will twist and come right out. Now for this bulb, this one has a little bit of a different connector. There's like a push button on it, and you just press the button and it comes off. So when you go to put in the passenger side low beam bulb, the upper bulb, have the wire sticking out to the right side, and that'll align the tabs up on the bulb. All right, so all I'm gonna do now that I have the wire connected to the bulb is I'm gonna feed that connector inside of the back of the housing, and we're going to make sure none of the wires are touching the back of the heatsink, and you can kind of do that just by feel. All right, I have everything tucked in there now, and then I'm going to put the dust cap on. All right, and now I'm just going to cut my zip tie. We're going to put this twist fastener in first. We're going to put our 3 7/32 screws back in here, and I want to say the passenger side is a lot easier than the driver's side, and I'm right-handed. I figured the driver's side would be a little bit easier to get in there. All right, we got our 3 screws tightened, our push pins in. That's all there is to it. So this is with just the regular standard beams. Here's the high beams. I think it's going to be a dramatic difference with the LED bulbs. Already a huge difference. It's lighting up everything on the road, and I can see at least 3 to 4 times further, and this is just low beam. Here's high beam. It's a noticeable difference, so totally worth the money, guys. All right, guys, so that wraps it up for today's video. Super easy upgrade, totally worth it. Less than $100. You don't have to spend $1,000 on new LED light assemblies, like entire headlight assemblies or fog light assemblies. You can just get some LED replacement bulbs off Amazon. This isn't sponsored in any way. I will drop the links down in the bottom. America for the bulbs. And if you did do this upgrade, let me know down in the comments below. Make sure to drop a like and consider subscribing. I have new stuff coming out all the time. Thanks for watching, guys. Until next time.